I used to cry some days seeing kids walking around with their dads or having fun in the park. Growing up without my dad, he left me and my mom when I was 2. It's hit me in some ways, but it's also made my life better because I know that I can be a better man than he was. I can raise children. I can be a good father.
I mean, the typical black child, the kids thing, not having a father to raise me, having to go through life figuring out how to be a man on my own, and just basically people telling me I won't be able to do certain things and I'm just lost.
The purpose of the retreat at Catholic University was to fulfill a void. As we know, there's 76% of young African-American males that are living in single-family households. How can we help fulfill that void and, be mentors in their life? The theme of the retreat was the future of hip-hop leadership. And the reason why we came up with that is we wanted to take a student-centered approach. They're also engaged in the learning process. And that's why we came up with the theme. And it was their interest. They wanted to talk about hip-hop culture, what it means to them, the ideas of where they want to take it and where it was in the past. We wanted to get them to understand the historical perspective as well of what hip-hop is about and what it's all about. But it's about community, it's about advocacy, it's about having a voice. And having a voice, especially for the voiceless.
I'm finding myself through music. Rapping itself and just being able to express myself through words is even better.
Sometimes I question everything in this reality. My reflection isn't who I really want to see. This depression just doesn't want to.
When I'm able to write on a piece of paper how I feel and get to express it to other people, I feel, say, how you feel from working out. You feel like you just released a lot of tension within yourself.
With the MCing part, is dealing with expressing yourself. It's dealing with communication, having a voice, and it's dealing with storytelling. But how do we use that voice? How do we empower ourselves with that particular voice within our communities?
Understand that you have to be mindful of your message to people.
My life mission as an MC is to gain a level of respect to the point where the youth who I encounter who may not be at a point where they've reached the maturity to make decisions for themselves and are still easily influenced can see that, yo, positivity has worked for this guy.
My silver shining brighter than the North Star. We keep it real, we driving miles, we driving real far. No kilometers, that's that British stuff, we don't do that.
With the breakdancing workshop, the theme behind that was gaining confidence. And just like any person that's learning something new, you want to, it takes practice. So you may fall, you get back up and continue to practice and practice and practice till you get it right.
Growing up in school, it was difficult for me. I used to get in trouble and that type of thing. But when I started dancing, instead of being that kid that's like, oh, that's the troublemaker, I became that kid that's like, whoa, that kid can, he's into something. When that started happening, I started doing better. And it started changing my life. And honestly, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for dancing, if it wasn't for the whole hip-hop movement. I wouldn't be able to be here.
Graffiti, which is all around art and allows themselves to express themselves artistically.
More than ever now.
Just learning more about how DJs, how they listen to music, how they get music, how they feel it, and where it all started from, like from the park and how the guy would play music and then the B-boys would start dancing.
Showing the kids pretty much about how the DJ art form was began. And I think that's important nowadays because you don't see too many DJs in that forefront. And the DJ has a leadership quality of its own to command the crowd. It's always been the DJ's job. So I think it's a good lesson for the kids to learn.
As far as leadership is concerned, art is a leadership position because you're always creating something new. You're always bringing, going from where you came from to where you want to go. So it takes a leadership, it takes management, it takes all of that stuff to actually make that happen. And people don't often associate that with hip hop.
How has hip hop affected your life in good and bad ways?
Because of hip hop, I've had a chance to travel the world.
and I've had a lot of fun. Like last night, I was at Salt and Pepper concert.
I wake up every morning knowing that my purpose in life is to create music, to connect with people in the world. Like that is my sole reason for existing.
But then when I've heard De La for the first time, it just kind of changed my outlook on my life and on myself. It changed my life, you know? So for me, I mean, it's working with hip hop music is a way of kind of connecting to not only myself, but also to my community.
In Africa, most of the time on TV, when they talk about Africa, most of the time they talk about bad things happening there. So that's very hard for us. When we grow up, we see on TV they say Africa it's only about disease, war, bad things, but it's not true. We have a lot of good things there. So I wanted to take and to use hip hop culture music to let the world know who we are.
When you were spinning the records and the vinyls, and you were telling us about the concentration we needed for DJing, you kind of enlightened me, because when you were showing us how to move, I saw people rapping their hearts out, and I saw people dancing, I saw people break dancing, I saw a whole new world of rap, and you enlightened me in that.
That's the reason why the music is so important. You never know what you hear and what inspires you.
Unfortunately, the images of black males being in large groups is something negative, but this was something positive. Yeah, it was a real epic moment, and I hopefully it will be something that they will cherish and remember for the rest of their lives. And having those opportunities to meet with those different people within that gathering and within that setting. We want to continue to work and develop the program. And in addition to that, just really just continue to kind of provide and look for solutions and resources to deal with this epidemic of a lot of these young kids growing up within fatherless households.
See, I could kick it on the money tip, flow about my hustle. Never mind about my dollars, I'd rather show you the muscle. Rumble, young man, rumble, you see the struggle is no match for the brave-hearted, cause we never blind. Any sign of negativity, I tell them never mind. Too busy getting free, and so I forever shine. Brighter than the iris of the youth, I motivate. Now open up your eyelids, it's easy when you know you're great. Never mind all the BS, distraction and regret, we victorious in the secret. Relieve stress, focus on the mission at hand. Some will get it right away, the rest won't understand. And never mind, never mind. You gon' shine when it's time to learn. Never mind, never mind.